Hello, I'm Andrew, and I'm going to be taking you through the department functionality within CADvanced. So the very first thing you want to do is go into the admin area and then the user management, and just check that your user has the manage departments permission. If you don't have that, then obviously you won't be able to manage any departments. So if I check that, and then you need to log out and log back in again. And you can see I've now got the manage departments admin area. So if we go into that now, so CADvanced comes with a department set up from the beginning with just standard settings really. It has a name, it has bolos turned on, doesn't have a logo defined, and it has a color. So the name is what will appear in the top of the CAD and in various places throughout the CAD when you're interacting with that department. Bolos just determines whether in the dispatch area, whether you see the option for bolos or not. The logo is what will appear on the front page of the CAD when you log in. And the color is what's used to indicate that department in various areas. You'll see all this as we go through. So if I, rather than create, modifying this one, if I create a new one, then you can see how this works. So first thing you need to do is give it a name. So we'll call this Metropolitan Police. And once you save that, you can then add several other options. Well, this is a UK-based department, so we won't have bolos. We will give it a department though. So you click upload image, then you choose a file. Here I'm going to use the Metropolitan Police logo. If you're happy with that, you click upload. That then uploads it to the server. And then the color, we'll choose something similar to the logo color. So maybe a dark blue like that. So then you just click update department, and that department's now been created. Once you've got a department, you can then start populating the values for that. So if you go into defined values, you'll see some of these values now have the option to specify for a particular department. Because departments can be very different, the sort of the grades and the types and the incident types can be different between departments. So if we now switch to our new department here, we'll just specify some very simple values here. And then if we move on to the units, again, units can be per department. So these are the ones we've got for the default department. If we then switch to our new one, we can specify some types. And again with states. And we'll just give these different colors. Okay. So citizens, vehicles, legal, none of those are department specific, so you don't need to create values for each department. Officers, however, are, or officer ranks are. So you can see here we've got the ranks for our CADvanced Police Department. If we switch to the new one, we'll just create some values for this. Okay, so now we've created some values, we're in a better position to interact with our department. So if we go to officers, obviously officers are very much department dependent. So you need to create ones for each department. So if we go to Metropolitan Police, I've got no officers, so let's create one. Okay, and make him our active character. So you can see a couple of things happen there. The banner at the top has changed to the name of the department we're a member of. And we can see here that we've now got a little indicator here that displays the department that Metro Mike is a member of. If we click on the name of the department, we go to the front page and we can see we're getting a logo there, the one that we defined. One other thing to show you in managing departments is you can create announcements for your department, so news and whatnot. So if we create one now, And then if we go back to the front page, you can see the announcements are now displayed on the front page. So when users make their their officer active, then they'll see the announcements here. So if we now switch over to the CAD, we can have a look at what's happening in there. So the first thing you'll see is a dispatcher now has a choice of whether to dispatch for a particular department or whether to dispatch for all departments. Obviously, what they see in the dispatch screen will depend on their choice here. So if we first go to Metropolitan Police, we're now just dispatching for the Metropolitan Police. So if I create a call, you can see we're only seeing the values that we specified for this department. And again, with the incidents, obviously locations are not dependent on a department. So if we then save that, you can see here we've got a call specified with the little indication that this call is belonging to the Metropolitan Police. If you're in a situation where you're dispatching for multiple departments, you can select all departments here. And then what we see is we see all calls, all units, and so on for each department. If I create a unit for Metropolitan Police, you can see we're seeing another indication here of the department. Because one of these departments, the CADvanced default department, has bolos turned on, because we're dispatching for all departments, we see the option to create bolos here. If we're just dispatching for the Metropolitan Police, you can see we don't get the option for bolos there. Okay, so here we are in game. So because I'm now an officer for the Metropolitan Police, I can do MDT. And then again, we see both the logo and the announcements in the front page of the CAD. So at the minute, my 5M server's configured to allow self-dispatch. And obviously the options you see here will vary according to whether you've got self-dispatch turned on or not. So it's all very much as you would expect with the MDT, apart from you see a little indication of the department any given call belongs to. And if you create new calls, you have to select which department the call is for. And the same with units. If you create a unit, you have to select which unit the call is for. If you're joining a unit, you'll only see the options for ranks that are relevant to that unit. If we just switch back into the CAD for a moment, you can see here that we're seeing a blip effect on my player. The colour of the blip depends on the department they belong to. If I switch my active officer to CADvanced officer, and then we go back to the dispatcher, within a few seconds you'll see the colour of that blip changing to reflect the new department assignment. There we go. So that gives you a clue in the dispatch screen as to what department an officer belongs to. And equally at the bottom here, you can see there's a small border around the player's icon, just to give a hint of the department.